The spotlight softly reflected on the red carpet, where hundreds of reporters gathered to hunt for every expression, every word from the main cast of Outlander, in the special premiere of the new season. But all eyes and camera lenses seemed to stop when Heughan and Caitriona Balfe walked in side by side, their faces radiant and their smiles natural, attractive as if the outside world had completely disappeared when they were together. The interview was broadcast live worldwide, taking place on the main stage of the event. Sitting side by side in a simple but luxurious setting, Sam in a classic gray suit, Caitriona in an elegant emerald green silk dress. From the look in their eyes to the gentle touch of their hands, they showed an indescribable understanding, a harmony that transcended the screen. The interview's lead reporter, Jane Mitchell, who is known for her ability to dig deep without mercy, begins with a light-hearted question. Sam, Caitriona, you've been together for over a decade as Jamie and Claire. Have you ever felt bored being together for so long? Caitriona laughs, tilting her head to look at Sam as if to let him answer first. Sam shrugs, his eyes full of mischief. Bored? Maybe, when she makes me drink tea instead of whiskey every morning while filming. Caitriona feigns a glare at him, then turns to the audience. Actually, I can't imagine this journey without Sam. We've grown up together in the profession, shared the tough times and the endless laughter. The audience in the auditorium laughs and applauds. Another reporter asked, "Can you share a memorable behind-the-scenes moment from the new season?" Sam quickly replied, without hesitation, "One day, Caitriona secretly hid cookies in my jacket pocket. I only found out when we were doing a horse riding scene, and the horse refused to go, because it smelled the cookies." Caitriona burst out laughing, covering her mouth as if she couldn't believe what Sam had just said. "I swore I wouldn't tell anyone, Sam," she said, "so you're the one who cheated." "I'm sharing the truth. It's my civic duty," Sam replied, with a wink, which once again brought the room to life. Reporter Jane moved on to a more serious topic. "You've been through a lot in your personal lives, but you've always appeared together as an inseparable unit. What's your secret to maintaining such a strong relationship?" Caitriona looked at Sam, her eyes filled with emotion, before answering. "I think the most important thing is respect. We respect each other's personal space, our differences in thinking, and most importantly, we're always there when the other needs us." Sam nodded, continuing, "And also because, we know how to make each other laugh, even when things get heavy. There was a time when Caitriona just winked and I knew she was saying, 'It's okay, we'll get through it.'" The audience seemed to hold its breath in that moment of silence, a rare moment of truth amidst the hustle and bustle of showbiz. It was no longer Jamie and Claire. It was Sam and Caitriona, two people, two souls in tune, overcoming all the lights and gossip, still together as soulmates. The interview gradually moved to the quick question section, a small game to end the event. "Who forgets their lines more often, Sam?" they both said in unison, then burst out laughing. "Who takes longer to do their makeup?" Sam pointed at Caitriona again, but she shot back, "It's Sam, because his hair needs at least 3 layers of styling product." "If you could actually time travel, where would you choose to go?" Sam thought for a few seconds. "I would go back to the beginning of Outlander, just to experience the feeling of meeting Caitriona for the first time again." The audience erupted again. Caitriona, genuinely moved, smiled, "And I would go with you." When the interview ended, they held hands and left the stage, leaving behind endless applause and cheers. Without any confirmation, without any grand declaration, Sam and Caitriona still made people believe in a simple but profound thing. Their compatibility does not only come from skills, but from something rare, trust and true affection. In the noisy world of entertainment, perhaps they are a quiet but vibrant symbol, two people who could not be more lovable, even when they are just giving an interview. As the stage lights dimmed and the crowd began to disperse, Sam and Caitriona quietly left the stage through the small walkway leading backstage. There were no more cheers, no more cameras, just the soft sound of their footsteps on the wooden floor, mixed with the whispers of the backstage crew packing up their props. Sam took off her suit jacket, slung it over her shoulder, and turned to Caitriona. "You did great tonight." As usual, she smiled, bowing her head slightly as a thank you. But her eyes were warm, a kind of wordless gratitude that only those who were really close to her could understand. "Me too. Just, don't tell me about that cookie next time," Caitriona chuckled. "I'm still embarrassed." Sam laughed out loud, as delighted as a child. That was one of the best memories of the season. Had to share. They entered a small back room, where the crew had prepared 2 cups of warm tea, some pastries, and a few lounge chairs. Without being asked, Sam poured tea for both of them, a seemingly small but thoughtful gesture. Caitriona accepted the tea and sat down beside them, their shoulders lightly touching. "Do you remember the first time we did a TV interview together?" she asked, her eyes looking off into the distance as if searching for memories. "Yes," Sam replied, her eyes shining with nostalgia. "I wore a white dress, and you wore a cream suit. You were stuttering the whole time, and I kept saying your parts, because you forgot the director's name on air." Caitriona laughed, patting him on the shoulder. "I thought our careers were over after the first episode." Sam tilted her head slightly, her voice dropping a beat. "But then you held my hand under the table. Just that calmed me down." A gentle silence passed. Without much talk, without any effort, there was something very real between them. As if they were just being themselves, not pretending to be anyone. The door to the room opened slightly. Sophie, the studio assistant, leaned in. "Sam, Kate, there's a little girl from the Make-A-Wish Foundation who wants to meet you. She's a big fan of Outlander. Is that okay?" Neither of them had to think. "Of course," Caitriona said, and Sam nodded in agreement. A few minutes later, a girl of about 8, named Lila, walked in, her eyes shining and her dress printed with petals, clutching a hardcover copy of Outlander. She flinched slightly at the sight of her 2 idols. Sam knelt down to her level, smiling gently. "Hello, princess. What time period are you from? The 18th or 21st century?" Lila giggled. "The 21st century, but I want to live in the 18th century with Uncle Jamie and Aunt Claire." Caitriona sat down next to her, took Lila's hand, and said softly, "So let's continue the adventure together? Do you want to be a doctor like Claire?" She nodded vigorously, her eyes sparkling with happiness. Sam and Caitriona both signed Lila's book, took pictures with her, and chatted unhurriedly, as if they had known each other for a long time. After seeing Lila off, Caitriona sat quietly for a while, her eyes thoughtful. "Moments like this," she whispered, "make me feel like everything, the long hours, the pressure of public opinion, is all worth it." Sam placed his hand on hers, squeezing it gently. "We're not just telling stories. We're touching people's hearts. And you're the reason why." Caitriona looked at him. At that moment, in a room without an audience, without a camera, they were just 2 people, co-stars, soulmates, and perhaps something more, but it didn't need to be named. The backstage door slowly closed. The last frame was the silhouettes of 2 people sitting next to each other, in a quiet space, filled with sincerity, attachment and an unadorned affection.